Hi, I'm Stuart Flint. I'm the Director of Cloudify Inform at Cloudify Legal. Cloudify Inform is our business intelligence solution. But firstly, I want to talk about Cloudify Legal and why we exist. So, we exist to sell, implement, support, and enhance Action Step. And what that means is we want to encourage as many legal firms as possible to come to Action Step as their practice management system. And we want for those customers and existing customers to utilize the power of Action Step by giving enhancements to Action Step that help businesses drive real value. And so that's why we've come up with Cloudify Inform as a way of bringing graphical reporting to Action Step, as well as adding some components like team reporting that are not natively in Action Step, as well as items like, and you can see the color bars behind me, KPI reporting, which uses the implementation of KPIs within Action Step and actually then pulls that out and is able to use the KPIs and track performance to that. So I'm going to show you the product now. It's split into three sections. And if I go to the navigation panel, you can see that on the left, we've got 5 reports that we're giving to every firm for free, as well as the core remainder of the product, which is the sections that you can see in the middle there. And then on the right hand side, I guess something a little bit different is that we've got, instead of linking to a PDF, we have an explanation section that allows you to select different months so you can see the real numbers as well as explanations around the calculations. And as well in that section, we have a data quality component. Now, what we're trying to do there is you enter information into Action Step. There needs to be that feedback loop where we show you in Cloudify Inform that data and maybe identify some challenges that are there that can then be fixed up within Action Step itself. So trying to build in that feedback loop. So right now I'm going to go into the free component. So we've got a dashboard that shows the metrics as part of the free component, and then we split by billing and activity and look at that at the team level and look at that at an individual level. So as I mentioned before, these KPIs are coming from Action Step. So within the accounting section, there is an option for KPIs that you can go through and select for each individual what their KPI should be. And Action Step does a really good job of allowing you to do that and shape that to the number of working days within the month so that you have a true expectation of the number of hours billed and the number of hours worked for each individual, as well as the amount billed. And we bring those KPIs in, and you can see color coded through Cloudify Inform is the performance to that. So this is what we're looking at in the free version or the free pages, which is fees billed. We compare that against KPI, both as a percentage and a dollar difference. We look at the number of billable matters worked. We look at the number of the client hours spent on those billable matters, and we calculate an effective rate. And we can tailor the financial and calendar year to, or the financial year to suit your firm. So if I move into, that's one of the things that I wanted to highlight was the KPIs. The second is the use of team reporting. So here in our demo, this is all on a demo database that is available for everyone to play with and navigate, is we have the US financial year set up. We can change that financial year so we can see the performance from prior years. We can also see the performance by team. So we're seeing fees billed, we're seeing KPI, we're seeing differences, and that's obviously color coded. Now, this is a great start to understand which teams are hitting their targets and which teams aren't, and then you are able to select certain teams. So we can see here the family team has been struggling, and certainly in recent months, and we can drill into that with this down button to see the individuals themselves, everything in Cloudify Inform is sortable, so we can see that Laura and Jeffrey have done a good job hitting their targets. But we can see Paul, Jonathan, Vanessa, Rita, and Stephen are struggling. And we add further drill down ability. So you now can see that I've selected Rita. And so the charts have changed, the key summary metrics have changed. And I'm also able to go all the way down with Rita into the specific matters. So I can see the highest dollar value matters here. I can select those so we can see them on the chart. And we can even delve into the specific invoices if we want to. And that team component is really just a mapping of individual to a team. And so the way we do that, if I go back to this navigation page, we've got this button that here allows us to click. And what that does is it takes us to a specific Google Sheet where the mapping is set. So going back and looking at this page, if I decide, okay, well, I want to change the team mapping in a certain way, then I can do that within that sheet. So the same is true we've shown that I've shown that you can drill down into the specific matters and invoices. The same is true on the individual page. We're just showing all individuals now as a way of comparing and I guess having a league table for individuals. You still have the team selector, so you can look at only specific teams. You can select by role. That does depend on how well the roles are populated within Action Step. But if I only wanted to look at lawyer, for example, I could do a filter on that so that irrespective of what team they were in, I'm only comparing lawyers. And again, everything filters and everything allows drill down. Rounding off the free component, we look at activity. We start now bringing in effectively the practice area or the service being offered. So here we can see, we've got some work being done in employment. Most of that's being done in the employment team, but you can see some conveyancing staff have been involved. But what we're seeing now is we're seeing the number of matters worked. We're seeing the effective rate. So considering the amount of time that it's taken to actually generate that revenue, what is the average rate? And again, we do that on an individual level as well. So that, in a very quick rundown, are our free pages. So how do you get that? Well, you get that by turning on the data extract and allowing us to have a user on your Action Step system that isn't billed by Action Step. So if you set up inform at cloudify.legal in your Action Step system, then you won't be charged by Action Step for that user. And we can then go and organize a trial of the Action Step data extract if you don't have it already. And we can generate this for your firm. We won't charge you at the end of the 3-month trial. You can decide whether to keep the data extract going from Action Step and keep access to these reports. The other piece I wanted to show very quickly is the data quality section, where here on the demo database, we flag where billable hours is higher than actual hours. Maybe not a massive issue, but something just to be aware of. We also identify where we've got time entries that aren't allocated to a matter, which is really important in terms of you don't want to miss out on billing time entries. We've got some other items around where invoices are zero to flag those, and as well individuals without roles defined in Action Step. So that is an area that we are looking to build up. So if there's certain things you're on the lookout for in terms of things that might be entered incorrectly in Action Step, we're going to expand that to incorporate some of those. So now I've done the data quality section and I've done how you turn it on. And obviously you can email inform at cloudify.legal at any point to discuss that, and I'm available to help. I just thought I'd take a little bit of time to to look through what we've done in the core area. So we've got dashboards, which are a summary of the other metrics that I'll go through. The billing section is quite representative of what we do in most sections here. We've got an annual view, which is your year-to-date view. We've got a current month view. We've got a last month drill down. We've got a last month deep dive, and we've got team and individual level reporting. So what that does is effectively gives you the same billing information that we've talked about, or in the free pages, but we just take it to another level. We allow more than the last 2 financial years in the core version. We also allow the current month. So the free pages will only look at closed periods. So I'm recording this video in July. It will only the free pages will only go up to the end of June. The data will refresh every day. So if there's backdated transactions, they will appear in June, but we just don't show an in progress look at July, or the current month. So you can see here what we have available is similarly breakdowns by team and individuals. We can see the top 10 in matters. This is quite low. This is quite low, obviously, with it being a few days into July. You can see with the last month view. So for June 2022, we compare to the prior month. We compare to the prior period. So June 2022 compared to May 2022, but we're also comparing it to June 2021, which I think is important, because I think often a lot of those changes are based off, seasonality. So comparing to the same month last year is extremely important, and you can see how individuals have changed over that time. Activity, again, like billing, we give you some stuff in the free pages, but we also give a lot more in these core pages. A really nice thing that we've added that we'll continually enhance is the sort of progressive look. So here we've got client hours, and we're looking at the client hours recorded compared to those same periods, so last month and the same month last year. So we can see that after 5 days of the month, we're sort of low in terms of client hours billed, and we have some optional metrics, so you can look at billable hours as well on that progress chart. So looking a bit better when it comes to billable hours compared to the same month last year. So again, we've got some stuff on KPIs. We are able to see the top billable hours by matter. We are able to do the same thing for the last month. We've got some charts on that. But for the remainder of the video, I just want to quickly touch on, we have some stuff that we've done on WIP. We've done some enhancements, so you can see the age of the WIP and the top matters for those WIP, and you're able to dive into the invoices themselves. We have some detail there as well. We've got some information on invoicing and payments, and a couple of things with the payments. We've got your normal account receivable, where you can see the age of that. You can see which periods it's coming from, so you can see that, maybe if I go, okay, well, what's from down there, August 2022 is quite old. Everything's sortable, so we can go back and see the invoices from certain periods, and we can sort by days past due and things like that. So we can see that this this matter here is obviously one that hasn't been closed off, but doesn't have anything outstanding. But you can see this one here from November has 6,000 outstanding from November 2020. So the idea there is that we're able to identify and have that accounts receivable report, as well as having a look at clients. So you might want to see which clients have open invoices, remaining amounts outstanding. And so our payments section does help you with that. We have a marketing section, we have an actions section. The action section is fairly new, and we're expanding on that. But what we're trying to do is give you a way of profiling the accounts that are closing, so they're understanding what sort of average amounts are and things like that. And so we've made a start on there, but that section will continually be enhanced. And we're looking at developing a report that looks at fixed fees and looks at what whether fixed fees were profitable or not. That's, I think, as much as I'm going to try and do on this video. I will be releasing a lot of other videos that go into specific pieces. Haven't shown invoicing, but that's fairly straightforward in terms of we see the amount of credit notes and expense split between expenses and fees. We have these charts that allow you to drill down, so you can see things by month, or you can select specific years and see things by month for that specific year. So there's some cool little components to Cloudify Inform. I'm going to leave it there. If you've seen this video, you're interested, I've mentioned it a couple of times, but inform at cloudify.legal. And it really is a simple process to set up. We turn the data extract on if you haven't got it turned on, and all we need is to set up a user on your action step, which is non-billable, and we can produce this report. And what we're starting to see for firms is that that's a really good first step for them to sort of see their data in this, and then that will then prompt behavioral change. So it may prompt entering KPIs into action steps. It may prompt some data entry issues or data entry issues that can then be resolved. For one firm, they've used it to see the amount of non-billable hours and really dive into that, and then be able to sample and understand what is causing some of those hours to be non-billable. So I think it's a very powerful tool, and hope you're intrigued enough from what you've seen here to see it on your data.